We all like to think of our homes as our own little private worlds, don't we? But the truth is, they're all connected to a much bigger hidden story. And that story is told by the pipes running through your walls and under your feet. You see, these pipes don't just carry water, they carry the history of the very ground your city is built on. So in this explainer, we're going to follow those pipes and uncover that story, using one particular city as our guide.
You know the sound. It's late at night, the whole house is finally quiet, and then you hear it. That weird little gurgle from the toilet, or you notice the sink is draining just so slowly. It's one of those universal annoyances, right? The kind of thing that can drive you absolutely bonkers. And it's never just one thing, is it? It's the drip, drip, drip of a faucet that just won't quit. Or maybe it's those noisy pipes that sound like there's a ghost banging around in the walls. Or hey, how about that water bill that suddenly spikes for no reason at all? Yep, these are the usual suspects, the everyday headaches we all deal with. But here's where it gets really interesting. What if I told you that those little annoyances aren't just random acts of plumbing chaos? They're actually symptoms. Symptoms of a much larger, totally interconnected system that's hidden just out of sight.
That's right. They are clues. Clues that point to this huge, invisible network that's being influenced by your city's history, its local geology, and even the weather. So that gurgling toilet, it might have way more to do with the street you live on than the toilet itself.
To really wrap our heads around this, we're going to zoom in and focus on one city in particular, Medford, Massachusetts. By taking a close look at Medford, we can see exactly how all these bigger forces play out in a real-world setting.
You see, every city has what you could call a unique plumbing profile. It's like a fingerprint made up of all its local conditions. It's kind of like the city's personality, but for its pipes. So what does Medford's profile look like?
Well, Medford is a perfect example of how a city's character directly messes with its infrastructure. In this case, its history is literally buried right there in the ground.
Okay, just look at how all these different things pile on top of each other. Medford has this heavy clay soil that literally squeezes sewer lines. Then you throw in those brutal New England winters with the constant freeze and thaw that cracks pipes at the joints. Oh, and it's right next to the Mystic River, which means a high water table is a constant threat to basements, and those beautiful mature trees everyone loves, their roots are basically the #1 enemy of old sewer lines. It all just combines to create a perfect storm of plumbing stress.
And this right here shows you the city's timeline perfectly. In a place like Medford, you can have a gorgeous century-old Victorian home with its original, rust-prone cast-iron pipes sitting right next to a modern condo with flexible PEX piping. You've got two houses on the very same street fighting completely different plumbing battles, all because of their age.
So, with problems this complicated, problems that are literally baked into the geology and the history of a place, how in the world do you fight back? Well, modern plumbing isn't just about wrenches and plungers anymore. We're talking about a high-tech, precision arsenal. For instance, take hydrojetting. Now, this is not your grandpa's drain snake. This is a super high-pressure blast of water that can completely obliterate the exact things that plague Medford's pipes. We're talking grease, sludge, and especially those invasive tree roots. It basically scours the pipes totally clean from the inside. And then you've got trenchless sewer repair. You know, in a city full of historic homes and beautiful lawns, the absolute last thing you want is a giant trench dug across your front yard. This technology lets a plumber repair an entire sewer line using just a couple of small access points. It's surgical, not a demolition job.
And finally, there's backflow prevention. This one sounds a little technical, but it's a non-negotiable safety device that's required by law. Think of it like a one-way security gate that physically stops contaminated water from flowing backward into the clean city water supply. It's a tiny device that protects public health on a massive scale.
All this technology is incredible, but let's be real, it's only as good as the person who's using it. So how do you know if you're actually dealing with a true professional who gets all this complexity?
Well, a real professional service follows a clear, simple process. You call, and an actual human being answers the phone. The technician shows up, explains the problem in plain English, no confusing jargon, and gives you a clear, upfront price before any work starts. Then they do the job right, they clean up after themselves, and they hand you a written warranty. No surprises, no stress. Knowing what to look for is absolutely crucial. A huge green flag, a plumber who gives you upfront, flat-rate pricing and can show you they're licensed and insured. But you've got to watch out for the red flags, like someone who won't give you a written estimate or tries to use high-pressure scare tactics. Understanding this difference is what protects you, your home, and your wallet. So now that we've kind of pulled back the curtain on this whole hidden world, let's bring it all back home, to you. Because with this knowledge, you can actually start to read the signs your own home is giving you.
Okay, this is where you really need to pay attention. Discolored or rusty water isn't just ugly. It could mean your pipes are literally corroding from the inside out. That sudden, crazy high water bill? That could be a leak you can't even see. And that weird wet spot in your yard might actually be a break in your main sewer line. These aren't just little annoyances. They are urgent messages from your home.
So the next time you hear a strange noise from your pipes or you notice that drain is just a little too slow, don't just think of it as another problem to deal with. Just pause and ask yourself, what is my home and the city all around it actually trying to tell me? The answer might be a much bigger and way more fascinating story than you ever imagined.